onboard those clients based on that criteria. So that could be a range. This salary to this salary, you're this client. This salary to this salary, you're this client.
Yeah.
Okay. Same with corporate banking. You can be you can start as a small retail client, small business. You can go up to a medium business. You can go up to a larger medium business. Then you go up to commercial. Then you go up to corporate. Everybody has a turnover criteria. This is your turnover. Based on your turnover, we think you're this level of client, and we'll offer you this kind of support and services.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's the associated cost and there's the associated revenue target as well. So you're assuming that this turnover, probably you can make this much revenue, and obviously you can spend this much on servicing that customer. Then the third thing that we do is that then some people have segmentation based on the type of business. So let's say if you are like aviation, if you're trade, if you're a global multinational, so you might have segmentation based on, you might have silos segmentation based on that kind. So they might have a special team that looks at global aviation for something. But most banks, don't have the bandwidth of the people to do that. So they do simple segmentation, the basic segmentation on turnover. You can actually go as much detail as you can do. But then there's a second question comes in. So if you look at this, BI is really very important when you look at retail. Because retail, you will have like thousands of customers, and then you want to figure out who is a good credit, who is a bad credit, where I can sell more, where I can sell less. So looking at the account conduct, looking at all these things. But this requires a lot of investment.
Yeah.
And I don't.
IT infrastructure, you need to have a proper.
And I don't think a lot of banks. Some banks have. I don't understand. If you look at some banks in this market, if you're the largest bank in this market, they have huge teams that just work on BI and MIS. So a smaller bank, let's say, the smaller the bank is, the less money they have. The same issue applies, right? So I told you, Islamic banks, less customer base, you've got limited resources, you have to, use the, and this BI is, so whatever you spend on BI, if you've got like, let's say 2 million customers, you spend the same amount of money on BI. If you've got, let's say, 300,000 customers, you'll spend the same amount of money to get the same result.
In proportion to that kind of like customer base.
And what is going to result? So this is the issue. So most of the people, for example, me, we used to do a lot of BI in my previous organization. It was a very big organization, one of the oldest and largest banks in the world. We used to do a lot of BI, and we used to do it but we had an MIS team, and we used to do a lot of stuff ourselves as well. So I used to do something like monthly revenue per customer for the last 12 months. So I can figure out that how is the revenue changing. So there are a lot of things like this that you can do. But
it's all done manually. I mean, when you're saying this, there was a manual touch to it.
So I used to do this. I used to prepare this I had like 6 team members, but I did for my portfolio this thing manually.
So do you think it's still going on the same way, or is there any progress?
Everybody did it differently.
Yeah, okay.
So I did that just for my portfolio because I had at that time I had something like around 3,000 clients.
Okay. Wow.
So normally that might not be the case. Now I have maybe 200 clients, so I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But that is still something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So it depends upon how many people you have,
exactly.
How much resources you have. Do you have a dedicated team? And in that previous organization, we used to have an MIS team who used to prepare that, help us with a lot of different MISs. We didn't have one. We had like 10, 15 MISs to talk about turnover, volume, customer attrition, a lot of things. When you have big bases, you can do all these things.
So, coming to the point, like when I'm talking about Islamic financial service industry, like Islamic banks. So do you think they have to go really far in order to achieve that kind of...
This is not a challenge in Islamic finance. This is a challenge, I told you, of resources and customer base.
Yeah.
So you have limited... Most Islamic banks are small. So we are small, we have small customer base, we have limited number of people.
So there's limited IT infrastructure.
Limited IT infrastructure.
Even in tier 1 banks when it comes to...
If you talk about tier 1, if you look at the...
Islamic tier 1 banks.
You look at the largest Islamic bank in this country. Okay? They probably have something, but I'm sure they don't have a BI team. They will not have a business intelligence team who does BI runs BI cubes on their databases. I'm sure they don't have somebody who's built a SQL BI database on that. I'm sure they don't have. Because But some banks have. Some conventional big banks have. I know.
So how do you target for if I can rephrase this, like how do you identify cross-selling opportunities? It's all on manual.
We actually scope the whole portfolio that we have. So for example, in corporate, if I have, let's say, 200 clients, and if, let's say, as a bank I onboard, let's say, 20 new clients or 40 new clients a year on corporate. Corporate onboarding is not that many clients. So obviously this is going to be different. This is a different discussion from retail.
So
retail is a different discussion. So if I, let's say, on the corporate, if I onboard 40 new clients, I'll make sure that for my area of business, I make sure that all those clients have had a cross-sell discussion about my area of business. And I'm sure that the trade team, the personnel or the payroll team has had the same discussions. So the trade team, the cash management team, the payroll team, everybody, the couple team has discussions with the same customers for all those new customers. So they do that. So this is what we do. This is part of our. This is one of the key part of our job.
When it comes to retail, do you think it's that easy? No, that's not.
The challenge is
how do you identify opportunities?
Retail. The way to identify opportunities in retail is that you need to actually. This is how it's run. Is that
just mere from the segmentation?
The way the bank works is in retail is that there probably is not a cross-sell. Cross-sell is not really a big retail concept. It is in some banks. So, and when you have a large mass of customers, you can go and cross-sell them investment products, insurance, savings plans, and the banks are actively trying to do that, to continue to do that. Financing, car financing, home financing, etc. Like that. But
without even identifying.
Yeah, but they mostly work on a marketing strategy.
Okay.
We try to market to our existing clients. Normally we are not going through, we have not probably, I'm not aware of this, but I'm sure that we have not gone through and run a BI exercise on our clients. That, this client, based on his turnover, based on his age, based on his profession, maybe he's a prime candidate for a mortgage or a car loan.
Maybe.
So the focus still is just market to existing clients, send them emailers, send them SMS messages, do outdoor ATL, BTL.
So for that you have a CRM team.
You have a CRM team and you have a marketing team which runs marketing campaigns to attract new customers.
So is it like tailor-made marketing, or is it like one size fit all kind of?
It's mostly one size fits all. The idea is that so once you do, let's say you marketing something like home finance or car finance, when you get the customer coming in, maybe the customer doesn't qualify. So maybe you have existing clients who are banking with you, you have accounts with you, but they come in and they want this car finance, but you go and tell them, no, we want a salary of, let's say, $20,000 to offer car finance. We offer to that segment. Or we want a salary of 10,000, whatever that might be. So it's not tailor-made. You've not built that campaign to that guy. So for example, what you're talking about is that I look at my portfolio, I look at everybody, I look at all the guys there, I look at the salary. So I say 10,000 to 20,000, I can offer this credit card, I can offer this personal loan, and I can offer this, let's say, home finance. These are the 4 products that fit this guy, this classification of customers, and I'll go and specifically micro-target those. So I will run a campaign where I send them emailers, or I make sure that they are called by the call center team who try to speak about these things.
Yeah, because latest CRM capabilities, what they do is they go for individually, they cater individual needs, and for that they need, heavy data mining engineering.
They need data mining engineers, plus they need people to go and market as well, right?
Yeah.
So they need 2 things. So both of these things, that data mining capability. I mean that's not really data mining. You can run an SQL query and figure out who those guys are. It's not that difficult. You can use BI and you can do a lot of BIs. I mean,
I just want to say, it's more to do with an advanced IT structure that's in place.
I think it's an approach. Is that approach to do something like micro segmenting? That approach.
It's still not here in the Islamic
Still not here.
Islamic.
So this is not Amazon. This is not Amazon.com that you can cater to everybody's small needs. This is the challenge. It's an investment, and then the second question becomes that as a customer base, the amount of customers you have, which is
Exactly.
the best approach to reach them now. So if you've got like, let's say 10 million customers on retail, what is the best approach? So you make that investment and run that campaign, and you can get an amount of delta out of it. But when you have like a smaller base, maybe that other thing is a better use of your resources, because you're doing two things when you do ATL and when you run campaigns, is that and when you do direct marketing, is that you get new customers as well. So for a Islamic bank which is smaller, one of the main thing for a small Islamic bank, for a bigger Islamic bank not to that same extent, but for a smaller bank, one of the main things is to get new customers as well.
Yeah.
So you would say you better spend for a better return on your dollar is to do like a campaign, or you'll get existing customers coming in to ask for the same product, and you might get new guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
you'll do a loss, like you said, you'll do a loss leader product. So you probably go and do a product where the rates are very attractive, just to get those customers in, and then obviously when they come in, you try to sell other stuff as well, as much as possible.
Yeah, so basically they do practice loss leader pricing strategies. So yeah. So now, okay, I think I'm on the last leg of my questions. Does your company provide organizational support to the concept and practice of cross-selling? I mean, when I say that, what I mean is from top to down hierarchy.
Yeah.
Do you all share in the same mission and vision of, or the conscience of the importance of cross-selling equally, or is it just like in the senior management they are conscious about cross-selling and its importance, but when it trickles down to the middle management or the people below them, they do not have any clue of what cross-selling is?
Yep, I think I'll give you an example. This varies from organization to organization, and this question is not relevant to Islamic banking. This is relevant to all banking.
Okay.
So if you go across, I've worked in conventional banks.
Yeah.
Actually, I've worked in 3 conventional banks, and I've worked in some of Islamic bank. So every organization is at some stage of the spectrum that you've talked about.
Yeah.
So if the question is that is it something specific about Islamic banking that is driving this? It's not. It's about an organization's culture. So some organizations are ready to ingrain to such an extent that cross-sell happens by default, in the sense that the other departments want to cross-sell. The people who are owning the relationship, they will force them to come and cross-sell. Cross-sell is basically built to a certain extent that, the best way to this is what I say, the best way to cross-sell that I've seen is where you have shared targets. So for example, if you have a customer who is managed by a relationship manager, that relationship manager has a target not just to sell him, let's say, a financing product, which is his main forte. His target is also to sell him insurance. His target is also to sell him treasury. His target is also investments, to sell him all the other banking services. And he has a target, and he tries to meet his target on all those criteria plus an overall target. So he will try to maximize the wallet share on all those areas. Plus, he will try to maximize his. If there is a shortfall, he will try to push as much as possible. So he'll try to do his job, but because the other departments that cross-sell, he is not really actively doing a lot of work. So he will want to actually make the other guys do the work. So even if he's behind, or if he doesn't want to do anything, he's still making the money. He has to do. That's totally wrong. He has most pressure on the relationship in most cases, but he will make sure that you guys also work and contribute, get as much out of it as possible, so he can get so the money that you make from that guy is his money, basically. It's my money as well, but that's where cross-sell is like a part of your DNA. If you go to other banks, if you go to different organizations, this is actually, I worked in 4 organizations, and only one organization has been there. So I've seen this live in one organization only, which was a 200-year multinational bank. So this is ingrained in their culture, and then everybody works very hard, and it's very high pressure. In other organizations, it's the same thing. Sometimes senior manager always talks about it, because this is something that has come to the forte, and people have recognized that you can make a lot of money in cross-sell, and cross-sell is the way to go in the last 10 years.